Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatam Vyasam Tathavatam Madhira Nasapreshu Vajreshu Nityam Bhavata Sevaya Avaditamasake Bhakti Bhavatamesh Krishna Sudamo Bhagate Dhammakina Visa Kalonasta Dishamesha Puranarkadanodita Sarvedanta Sarami Sri Bhavatameshite Tatra Samrita Tritasya Nanyasya Pratigvache Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhu Sarvashraya Pratishoke Pratyakshare Nanamatarkaya Premaya Bhagavata Krishna Shriyanga Jayate Kayati Gopi Krishna Srimad Bhagavatam Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. So this is Saturday Bhagavatam class, May 17th, 2025. And we're discussing fourth Canto Bhagavatam, the story of Dhruva Maharaj, chapters 7 through 9. We did already 6 chapters. Oh, we haven't got to Dhruva yet. This is still Daksha Yajna, where Shiva's wife, Sati Durga, gave up her body because she didn't want to have anything to do with her body, which was produced from her father Daksha, who was a great offender to Shiva because Daksha neglected to invite Shiva to his yajna and honor him properly. So now that everyone has come to their senses and Daksha has been beheaded and he's got the head of a goat, and so he wanted to start the sacrifice over again. So this is what started. This is what's described in chapter 7 of 4th Canto. Krishna gives a summary in verse 1. So everyone's there. All the players are in the same yajna. It's like scene 1 in the same yajna. Sati gives up her body, then all her servants and protectors go crazy and cut out people's eyes and chop people's heads off and break their teeth and beat them up and destroy the whole sacrifice. And then Brigu makes some anti-party to fight Shiva's servants, and they chase all Shiva's servants away. And then they go to Shiva and try to appease him and get him, invite him properly to the sacrifice. So that's what happens in this chapter. We can see verse number 7. In other words, Daksha didn't do it. He made a big mistake. So all the Devatas realized the mistake of Daksha, so now they're starting over again. So sometimes we start a big project and we make them, and we fluff it, we don't become successful. So we have to start again. So that's what happened here. So verse 7 says, all the Devatas and the sages, they went to Shiva and properly invited him. And then they went to the sacrifice with Brahma and Shiva. So they all went together, and Shiva was probably honored. And Shiva was telling her, Shiva came there, and everybody said, Shiva, half the people in the yajna are all cut up and chopped up. So what do we do about how are we going to have the yajna without these guys? So then Shiva put everybody back together again. He said, okay, Daksha lost her head, so we'll give him a goat's head. The talking goat, he talks also. Hopefully, if he knows what to say. What other examples do you have of an animal talking in the Bhagavatam?
Ganesh.
Animal talking.
Yes, Gajendra.
What else? Gajendra, 8th Canto.
And
I agree.
Bee. Radharani and bee.
That's insect.
Garuda.
Oh,
It's
What?
bird.
Garuda.
It's bird.
Garuda.
he's not an animal, he's a bird.
Yes, the cow, Dharma.
Yeah, Dharma
Cow,
also,
bull.
1st Canto, Dharma.
Bull also.
And the bull also.
Yes.
Calf.
Doggy. Who else?
No, like Mati and all avatars. They're like,
Yeah, they all can speak. That's good. Who else?
Varaha, yes.
the water fan.
Varaha.
Bharat.
Said Bharat.
Bharat.
Bharat became a deer.
Yeah.
And he chanted the mantra that he chanted as a Brahmin, as a
Deer.
as a Kshatriya. He learned the mantra and became a deer. And when he was dying, he chanted that mantra. It came out of his mouth. That's described in the, what canto is that? 5th Canto. Judd Bharat's story. It's fifth canto. So it describes that the deer was a sannyasi deer. He stayed in an ashram of rishis and didn't take part in any other deer, didn't have any deer girlfriends. He was celibate, sannyasi deer. And he just took Mahaprasad and listened to the chanting and singing of the rishis in the ashram. He lived outside the wall. And he ate prasadam every day. When he died, he chanted the mantra, chanted the holy names of Bhagavan. Became born as a Brahmin, Judd Bharat. And he was a totally pure personality. So, this verse number 7, probably has some commentary we can read for that. The whole sacrifice arranged by King Daksha had been disturbed by Shiva. Therefore, all the Devatas, along with Brahma, went to beg Shiva to come to the yajna and revive the yajna. There is a common phrase, Shiva Hina Yajna. In other words, any yajna without Shiva is failure. Hina means without. The word in Sanskrit. Shiva Hina. In other words, a yajna without Shiva is no yajna. So we saw that's what happened. So apparently in Prabhupada's world, in Bengal in the early days, whatever, that's a common phrase. I never heard it myself. You ever heard it? Not your generation. You were born 1896? You were born 1896. Oh, well, that's why you're 1899, right? Size change. But you were born 1896. Can you imagine that?
Very nice, I can imagine.
That's probably born 1896. It sounds like 2 million years ago, you know? It sounds like it. What's happened from then to now, you know? But that was a common phrase. There's a common phrase, Shiva Hina Yajna. Any yogi without Shiva is a failure, faltu, nishval. Vishnu is Yogeshwar, the Supreme Personality in the matter of sacrifice. Yet in each yajna, it's necessary for all the devatas headed by Brahma and Shiva to be present. In other words, because Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava and the greatest devata, actually. So there's no Shiva, there's no yajna. So Daksha, right from the go, he made sure his yogi would be a failure because he ignored Shiva and insulted him and didn't invite him. And Shiva is his son-in-law. So let's see, let's go on to this chapter. What else we can discover here? So Daksha controlled his goat brain in verse 12. So you got trouble controlling your brain. We have a goat's brain. It says, controlling his goat mind with difficulty. Daksha began to praise Shiva. So even goats have some brains. What's going on, rain?
Yes.
That's nice. Rainy season right on schedule. Let's get washed. It needs to be washed. It's about time. So that shows that goats are more intelligent than ducks are. Appears that way. Okay. Now verse 15. Daksha says to Shiva, although I insulted you with harsh words in the assembly, not knowing the truth about you, you didn't take those insults. But by your glance of mercy, you saved me, who had fallen down due to my offense. You should be satisfied with your show of mercy. So, that's a nice smell of earth now. The rain speaks through the earth and we can smell it now. Nice smell. Whenever you pay obeisance to Tulsi, you should smell the earth. As Krishna says in Gita, I am the original fragrance of the earth.
Punyo gandha prithivyancha. Punyo gandha prithivyancha.
Punyo gandha
Prithivyancha.
Kritiyasmi. Kritiyam or whatever. I am the gandha of the Prithvi. I am the fragrance of the earth. Now you just say that good like that. You have put your nose like a little pig, you know. That was so good. That was really good. He has little impersonations of each thing. Look just like a pig, you know. Big nose, you know. It's really cool. Okay. Great way to make friends, huh? So what does Rama say here? Verse number 15, chapter 7, 4th canto. As usual, a devotee in an adverse condition of life accepts that adversity as mercy of Krishna. Oh, I got locked in the dungeon. Mercy. Factually, the insulting words used by Daksha against Shiva were enough to have him perpetually thrown into hell. But Shiva, being kind towards him, awarded him punishment to neutralize the offense. King Daksha realized this, and feeling obliged for the magnanimous behavior of Shiva, he wanted to show his gratitude. Prabhupada's commentary is really good, actually. As we see, we can read Vishnu's commentaries right in front of us. He's a great acharya. And so generally people give a lot of praise to Vishwanath and Jiva Goswami's commentary, Vaishnava Toshni, and Snana Goswami's commentary, Brihad Toshni. But what about Prabhupada's commentary? It's phenomenal, actually. It's really quite good. You see the commentaries there on page 108 of Vishwanath. It's okay. But Prabhupada really, he read this commentary. When Prabhupada prepared his commentary on the Bhagavatam, he had a book in Bengali. Each verse has 11 commentaries in it. Stan, Jiva, Vishwanath, and Vallabhacharya, it's called Subodhini Tika, and there's so many, and Sridhar Swami, of course. So that's 4 or 5. We had 11 commentaries. And he read them all, then he wrote his own, and they're really quite good. Actually, really quite amazing. I guess that's why ISKCON is such a popular movement, because the Prabhupada's books and commentaries are so clear and so profound, and very contemporary also. They bring everything from old times into new times, and old times into now times. Here's an example. It's talking about Shiva punishing Daksha, but in a loving, kind way. So then Prabhupada interjects, sometimes the father punishes his child. When the child is grown up and comes to his senses, the child understands that the father's punishment was not actually punishment, but mercy. Similarly, Daksha appreciated that the punishment offered to him by Shiva was a manifestation of Shiva's mercy. This is a symptom of a person making progress on the path of Krishna consciousness. There's a lot of stuff going on here. You see punishment as mercy. Usually when you get punished, you think, okay, you did this to me, I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to put salt in your sweet rice tomorrow. And say, I don't know, I didn't do it. One time Prabhupada was in Los Angeles temple, and there were devotees in charge of making the Charanamrita. The deities were made with water, and then that water was mixed with yogurt and honey and rock candy, and it was really like a milkshake. It was really good. And a big silver bowl, and I was there personally. I tasted it. Sometimes the new devotees would take, after hours, go and empty the bowl. Because in the morning they just give a little bit, everybody. Come back at 9 o'clock and nobody's around. It was a big bowl, it was like 1 liter bowl. Everybody gets a drop. So the new boxes were in charge of cleaning the temple room. They said, clean out so clean out the bowl. So, empty the Charanamrita bowl. You get completely stoned, too much honey. I know from practical experience. So, Prabhupada, they put some drops, and Prabhupada said, He said, "Who has made this Samarita?" And some lady was in the tea kitchen. They say, "Hey, Prabhupada, there was salt in the Samarita." She put salt instead of sugar. Prabhupada wasn't too happy with that. So she realized that punishment was mercy. She never made that mistake again, for sure. That's one. She made mistakes, I'm sure, but not that one. Bless her soul. She's probably up there making Shanarita right now. When one is Krishna conscious accepts any miserable condition as the grace of Krishna, one thinks, I would have been punished or put into a more dangerous condition of life due to my past misdeeds, but Krishna has protected me. Thus I have received only a little punishment as a token, execution of the law of karma. Thinking of his grace in that way, the devotee always surrenders to Krishna more and more seriously and is not disturbed by so-called punishment. Confirmed. So, when we were a new devotee, we used to hear this analogy that when you surrender to Krishna, we say that your karma is, a lot of your karma is destroyed at Diksha, but there's still some residual karma. But even that karma is coming through the hand of Krishna. So the analogy I would give is like someone throws a rock at you full speed. If it hits you in the head, it may kill you. Krishna catches the rock. Hey, Bunder jumped on the champa tree. He's going towards the corner. Entertainment time. You get into it too. Hey, Jay, come here.
Hey, Bandran.
Knock you, beat you up. You're not that big a monkey yet. You're a monkey in the making. Sure, the monkey. Sit down. So somebody throws a rock, Krishna catches it, then he goes to, he just touch your head. You go. He reduces it. Go sit back there with that fence. There's more action. Sorry, that's my fan. So come over here and do some, fan both of us. Fan the, because he's now a cameraman. But don't fall off the veranda. Anyway, just see what the flies through there, that's all. The flies coming through the flies. Okay, so that was that verse. So then Shiva forgave Daksha, and Daksha, with permission of Brahma, started the yajna. Verse 19. Vishnu came on Garuda, and the wings of Garuda are chanting some Sanskrit slokas from some book. It says Briya Ratantra. I read other places from Samaveda. Anyway, it's confirmed in different shastras that the wings of Guru are chanting Sanskrit mantras and verses in glorification of Vishnu stotrams, Vishnu Stuti. And it describes the beauty of Vishnu. Verse 22. When Vishnu arrived, all the Devatas, including Brahma, Indra, and Shiva, offered respects. And they all offered prayers to Vishnu. Daksha offered prayers to Vishnu in verse 26. And everybody offered prayers to Indra. In verse 29, Shiva says, because my mind is always thinking of Krishna's lotus feet, I never disturbed by people who criticize me. I excuse them out of compassion. So we should be like that. Anyone criticizes, we say it's like water on a duck's back. The duck sits in the rain, and the rain just runs down its back because the feathers on the duck have a waxy, oily covering, so it doesn't touch his body. It just rolls off his feathers like a drop of water rolling off a waxy covering of a lotus leaf. It doesn't make the leaf wet. So in other words, don't be affected. Jesus said in the Bible, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. If somebody throws stones at us or hits us with a stick, we may get hurt. But if somebody throws words at us, we get more hurt. They say the sting of an arrow only lasts for a few seconds, but the sting of harsh words may last a lifetime. That's also there. So, verse 35, there's a bunch of prema bhaktas at that yajna, and they're praying here. So the prema bhaktas said, our minds are like an elephant burned by a forest fire, becomes very thirsty, but when he drinks raw water, it tastes like nectar. So when we hear sweet pastimes, we get relief from the fire of material existence. The word siddha in this verse, because it says siddha uchu. Vishnu says siddha means, what does siddhi mean in bhakti?
Perfection. No, it's the prema.
Prema, yeah. Siddhi means perfection, but in bhakti means prema. And yoga means mystic siddhis, Brahma Siyuja Mukti, whatever. But siddhi in bhakti means prem seva Krishna Radharani. The mind immersed in a river of pure nectar of Krishna Lila does not remember the fire of samsara. That's nice. Stay in the river of pastimes. That's why I had this book, Bhagavad Sangra. The yogi said, verse 38, there's no one dearer than you. You're the Paramatma of the universe and the soul of all jivas. You're most affectionate to devotees. Please bestow pure bhakti on those serving you. It's interesting, yogis didn't ask for yogis didn't ask for pure bhakti for themselves. They said, those guys, they're so stupid, they're serving you. Let them have pure bhakti. we're happy meditating on Brahma. That's pretty far out. Yogeshwar, yoga masters. They're yogis, but they're nice guys, but they're missing the point. So everyone's offering prayers. Everyone wants to get on in action. Devas, Gandharvas, Vidyadharas. Maitreya says in verse 48, after hearing all this glorification, Daksha started the yoga again. And he spoke, Daksha spoke. No, wait a minute, let's see, Vishnu spoke. So Vishnu preaches about the glories of devotees. Verse 52, 53. Verse 53. Devotee does not see a difference between himself and other living beings, because he knows that Krishna is in everyone's heart. So Shiva, Vishnu, and Brahma are all one in one sense, because Krishna is in the heart of everyone. And then Daksha did his yajna. He offered a proper share of the yajna and gifts and to Shiva and satisfied Shiva. And Maitreya tells Vidura who he heard this story from. Maitreya heard this story from whom? From Uddhava. Verse 60. Uddhava heard from Krishna Pravasa Kshetra. When Krishna was giving up his body in Dwarkavida Pravasa Kshetra, Maitreya Muni, Uddhava was there. They would have heard all these kinds of katha, and then they would have bumped into Maitreya on his way to Badrikashram, and he told all this stuff to Maitreya. And Maitreya met Vidura on his way. Vidura was on his way to Badrikashram also. And then Maitreya told Vidura what he heard. So you go meet Asasaki. So I heard Maharaj said this. So Asasaki said, so he told me what Maharaj said. So that's how we always talk all the time. I heard this from so-and-so, heard it from so-and-so, or read it in the Bhagavad Gita. So always quoting source. That's verse 60. That ends chapter 7. Good night, Daksha. Good night, Sati. Bam Bam Bole. Har Bole. Namo Shivaya. Namo Shivaya. So that concludes the wonderful story of Daksha Yajna and Sati's Samadhi Agni. She entered Samadhi and burned up her body and was reappeared as Parvati. Parvati means mountain. Parvati means mountain girl. Daughter of the Himalaya Parvat. So her name is Himavati. Himavati. Durga, Parvati. She's a dangerous woman. Like all of them. She's the most dangerous. You can mess around with some women, but don't mess around with Durga. That's a good idea. Because most women have one head and 2 arms. But Durga has 10 heads and 10 arms, and swords and daggers and clubs. Women just have TNT. TNT is abbreviation for dynamite, tongue and tears. TNT means nitric toluene or whatever. It's some long chemical name. Nitric acid, N is for nitric acid. So TNT means dynamite, boom, big firecracker, blow up your whole house. So we say women are TNT. First they cut you, blow you up with their words. If that doesn't work, no. Then they go, okay, just stop crying, you know. I want a Lamborghini. Okay, take it. Want a trip to Paris? Okay, take it. Want a private jet? Okay, take it. Now Dhruva goes to the forest. Now we hear about Dhruva Maharaj. So small bhumika. Bhumika means introduction. Once upon a time, what yuga?
Satya.
Satya Yuga. Yogi Yoga. Yogi Yuga. Our little boy was the son of a Kshatriya. So the son takes after the father's characteristics. So the son had the bhav and mentality and heart and mind of a Chota Kshatriya. So he had ego like anything. He had pride like anything. He got anger like anything. Quite different than Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad was 5 years old, 7th canto. Dhruva Maharaj, 4th canto, 5 years old. Different kind of dude. Both are Kshatriya sons. One's a Prema Bhakta, one's a Sakama Bhakta. Dhruva Maharaj is Sakama Bhakta. But he's, he's not preaching to kids and stuff. He's not saying mantra, he's not doing Vishnu Smaranam. He's just getting angry. So his father, King Uttanapad, had at least 2 wives named Suniti and Suruchi. Suruchi means good taste. She tastes good. And Suniti means she behaves good. She acts good, but she doesn't taste good. Ruchi means taste. Suruchi means good taste. It's a way of saying very beautiful. Suruchi means very beautiful. When they describe Dwarka Lila in 10th canto, they describe Rukmini coming out of the Chandrabhaga temple, and all the kings came to catch her hand. And it says, Ruchir Anana. Anana means face. Her face was very tasty, very beautiful. And all the rival kings and princes were sitting on their horses. They saw her come out. They went unconscious and fell off their horse, all except one. Krishna didn't go unconscious. All his senses became eyes. His hands became eyes.
Because Radharani is more.
His ears became eyes. He said, I want that girl. I'm gonna get that girl. He ran and grabbed her throne and tried to run away. So in that verse it describes, he glorifies Rukmini as Ruchir Ananda. She had a very beautiful face. And the other wife of Uttamapad was named Suniti. You heard Niti Shastra. Niti Shastra means rules of behavior. It's not exactly a, Tattva Siddhanta philosophy, but it's good laws of politics and behavior for politicians, in general behavior. Here's an example of Niti Shastra. Don't give up a sure thing for an unsure thing. So you have, for example, you have a room in an ashram. And you know the room, you know the situation. And you're offered to take another room. But you don't know the situation. So you better be careful. Don't go with sure thing for unsure thing. So, a lot of things are there in Niti Shastra. So Suniti was very well behaved and very nice, but one problem was the king liked Suruchi more. So one day, king was sitting with Suruchi, and she had a son, Suruchi, and King Uttam had a son named Uttam. And then that particular day, Uttam was out, playing somewhere. And Dhruva Maharaj tried to climb up on the lap of his father, sitting on the throne. And his stepmother, Suruchi, said, "Hey, you brat. You can't get up here. You don't belong here. You're not born from my womb. You're a jerk." You just push them and get out of here. So that's not a good thing to do, especially if the boys are Kshatriya. So he's 5 years old, but he showed he's a Kshatriya. You see a little tiger cub, little baby tiger. You play with him, you fist your head, pretending he's like a big tiger. But you wait till he comes 300 kilos, then you don't want to, pull around. He'll eat you up. But he'll do the same move, go, But when he's little, there's 1 kilo behind that roar. When he grows up, he's doing the same roar, the same action, but he's 300 kilos now. So Dhruva Maharaj got angry. What is this? I can't sit my father's lap. Who do you think you are? So he went to his mother. She said what? He was crying, he was angry, he was really throwing a tantrum. So he said, "Hey, Drew, chill." What's the matter? What's the matter with you, boy? Well, I tried to get up on Daddy's lap, and that other one, the other queen, she threw me up very disdainfully. Oh, yeah. See, son, these days, I'm not much favor with your father. One time I was number 1, not now. I'm 39 years old. I'm over the hill. This new queen is 29, so I'm not number 2. So Drew said, "Listen, Mom, I want to get a bigger kingdom than I want to show this woman what I'm made of. I want to get a bigger kingdom than Daddy has. And how can I do that?" He said, "You have to worship God if you want to get something big like that." only if God favors you can you get some huge success like that. Control and controllership, a kingdom like that. That's a gift of God to be a king with such power and influence. Where can I find God? The rishis say you're going to find God in the forest. So he left. He walked out. He just walked out of the house. 5-year-old kid. So we went to the forest. So let's see what's happening. And we just on him. So he was really excited. He went to the forest. But before we get that, we hear about a bunch of really cool people. Maybe you know some of these guys. These are, I don't know if they're relatives of yours, but there's some interesting guys described here. There's about 10 different family members of one family called the Adharma Parivar. We're in a Advaita Parivar. This is a Dharma Parivar. So there's mothers and fathers and kids and wives. So you might have a wife or husband like this. So a Dharma married a wife named Lying. And Lying and a Dharma gave birth to 2 twins, Cheating and Illusion. So one kid's name was Cheating, the other kid's name was Illusion. And then between Cheating and Illusion, they got married, or they had kids. From Cheating and Illusion were born 2 kids named Greed and Deceit. A girl named Greed and a husband named Deceit had produced 2 children, one son named Anger and one daughter named Violence. And they had an incestuous relationship. The brother Anger and sister Violence got together with a combination, and they were born. They had 2 kids, a boy named Quarrel and a sister named Profanity. And they continued an incestuous relationship. Quarrel married Profanity, and they had children named Fear and Death. And Death and Fear got together and made 2 children named Pain and Hell. So that's your next door neighbors. The family of a Dharma. Dharma and Dharma are side by side. But who hears this description 3 times will cleanse his mind of all sin. So Maitreya said, listen, Gopal, you're not in the family of a Dharma. This description is purifying because you should avoid all these kind of people. Cheating, illusion, anger, violence. Let's see what Prabhupada has to say about this one. Okay, this is really interesting. Family member, your next door neighbors, we found out more about them. The family next door. You're wondering what's going on over there. Now you know. What verse is that? 485, right? 8 chapter verse 5.
Yes, Guru.
Okay. Prabhupada's commentary on this verse. The descendants of every religion this is the cause of devastation, is the Dharma. In other words, if you're a Dharmic, you destroy yourself. So the descendants of every religion and falsity, born one after another, are bluffing, cheating, greed, cunning, anger, envy, quarrel, harsh speech, death, fear, severe pain, and hell. All these are signs of devastation. If a person is pious and hears about these causes of devastation, one will feel hatred for these qualities, and thus will help one advance in life of Dharma, religion. Piety means cleansing the heart. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said one has to cleanse the heart. We should despise all these causes of devastation, beginning with cheating. If we avoid all these causes of degradation, our becoming Krishna conscious will be easier. The present life is rewarded so the present life we're facing repeated birth and death. If we take to the path of bhakti, we'll attain liberation. That's what Prabhupada said. So these are reminders of qualities we should avoid. Greed, deceit, anger, violence, quarrel. Not good stuff. And then verse 7 talks about the good guys. Swayambhu Manu and his wife Shatrupa, they had many kids like Uttanapad, Priyavrata. Those are all great Vaishnava devotees. So it basically it begins now the story of Dhruva Maharaj, which I explained. So a lot of times what we hear in the Bhagavatam is so many descriptions of pride and envy and anger. Why is they always talk about these qualities? Because they're enemies of bhakti. These qualities that these individuals represent are to remind us not to become proud, not to become envious, not to become angry, not to become quarrelsome. See, there's stories, but the stories are there to teach about qualities, about dignified devotional behavior, proper mentality, proper thinking, proper feeling, proper acting. So all these are characters that are many times thinking incorrectly, speaking incorrectly, or acting incorrectly. So there are many good examples of what not to do, what not to say, when not to act. Don't act in this situation, don't act like he did. So basically the Bhagavatam is a reformation process. We're supposed to reform our character development and transformation, taking a piece of iron and turning it into gold, taking a piece of glass and turning it into a diamond, taking a crow and turning it into a peacock. So the Bhagavatam is a transformational literature. So it's going to show hundreds of different kinds of men and women in different varnas and ashramas, and different degrees of devotion and non-devotion, and proper behavior, improper behavior. So, heads up. It's a life is for learning. Bhagavatam is a journey of life. It's a journey of psychic life. It's a journey, it's a whole master class in psychology and developing the mind and heart of a pure devotee of Krishna. There's so many poor guys in this Bhagavatam, and unfortunate personalities. Wow, I'm glad I wasn't that guy. So it's really showing us which way to go. What is the ideal behavior here? Because all these personalities, until you get up to 10th Canto, they're all struggling with material nature. What's that verse? Mahivamsho jiva loke jiva udasnatana manashastrani indrani prakriti stani karshati. It's like, what is that? 7:14 or something? Mahivamsho jiva loke jiva. But anyway, the verse says that we're all parts and parcel of God. Everyone is struggling in material existence. So the Bhagavatam is a story of so many people struggling with pride and anger and envy and all these things. Because we're also struggling with all these things. So we're shown a mirror of our bad qualities. There's a little Drew in me. There's a little anger in me. There's a little pride in me. A little Daksha in me. Not me. I'm a little angel. Did you see my wings? I just flew in here. Did you see you come down from the sky before class? I left my wings in the book room. I didn't want to disturb anybody's mind. I went in like Superman. Not so easy. Okay, where are we? So, what verse are we on?
7, 8.
8. Okay, so let's keep going. The Surishi's yelling at him and giving him a hard time. Pierced by the sharp words of Surishi, Drew got fried. He ran out. And his mother, Mahanidhi, told him, he said, listen, take shelter of Krishna, worship Krishna, purify your mind by bhakti. Don't be attached to anything. No one can extinguish your suffering, my dear boy, except Bhagavan, Krishna. So hearing his mother's words, Drew left his house. Imagine 5 years old. Okay, bye, I'm gone. How could he do that?
Determination.
One of the qualities of a Kshatriya in the 18th chapter. Virya. He is courageous, fearless at 5 years old.
Not going back from war.
You win or die. Don't come back. You know the story of the king.
My husband can come back.
Yeah. The king went out to battle to win a kingdom, neighboring kingdom. He got beat up and ran away. And came back, and he went to knock on the door of the palace. So who is it, the king? And the wife said, because your wife heard that the king, everyone died in the battlefield. The whole army got killed. So the king got scared and ran home. So the guard, the front guard, the gate, the chowkidar at the gate told the queen, your husband, the king, is there. He said, that's not my husband. Don't let him in. So he joined this guy. He became temple commander. Let's see, Krishna's Bhakti-Vatsalya. The wife didn't have any compassion. She was holding up the dignity of Kshatriya Dharma. But when he went to the temple of ISKCON, they accepted him because they needed new Shura. So he saw he had leadership qualities, although he ran away from the battlefield. So they made him a temple commander. So it had a happy ending. He didn't like his wife anyway. So Narada came to the forest and met Dhruva. So look, you're a little kid, you should go home. It's dangerous here. And then hearing Narada's talk, Dhruva Maharaj said, listen, if you can't tell me any give me any good instruction to attain what I want to attain, then just get lost. When Narada heard this, wow, what a hell of a Kshatriya spirit you have. Oh, teacher, Kshatriyana. He said, oh, what a Kshatriya spirit. Kshatriyas can't tolerate the sight, touch, sights of their pride. Narada said, oh child, you're just a young boy attached to playing. What are you worried about? The opposites are there. Don't just go on and start playing. Don't just wait on it. Give up this useless endeavor. When you get older, you can attempt to do this austerity. So Narada keeps speaking. Then in verse 35, Dhruva had heard enough. He said, listen, I'm not submissive. I'm a Sagittarian. I'm not submissive. I'm intolerant Kshatriya spirit. Your instructions can't stay in my heart. My heart has been pierced by the words of Suruchi. Just see. Words are terrible, dangerous. Oh, Brahman, tell me how I can get a bigger kingdom. So Narada Muni says, wow, this guy is really determined. What does the word Dhruva mean?
Determined.
It means determined. Dhruva is in the groove. So Dhruva says, listen, you're Brahma's son. All you do is run around playing Veena. So here in Dhruva, so Narada said, I better give mercy to this guy. He's got good potential. He's going to go somewhere in life. That's what I used to write on my report card. Can do better. B minus. Can do better. Capable of doing better. I was slacking off. So he says, worship Krishna with a fixed mind. And initiate and give a mantra. He said, go to Vrindavan. This verse 42 is a very significant verse. The same Sanskrit word is used several times in the Bhagavatam to describe Krishna Mathura. Sunday, verse 42, Sanidhyam Nityada Hare. Hare means Bhagavan Sri Hari, and Nityada means always, and Sanidhi, Nitya means living. So it means that because Naramani is telling Dhruva Maharaj to go to your sadhana bhajan to attain the mercy of God, go to Vrindavan, to the forest of Madhavan. And why am I telling you to go there? Because you want to attain God, so God is always attainable in Vrindavan. Any yuga, anytime. Because why? Because He always lives there. So this verse, this same phrase, Sanidhi Nityada Hare, is there in many verses in the Bhagavatam. Also in 10th Canto, chapter 90, Jayati Chaiti Kam, Jamanavraja, you know that verse.
This Gopi Gita.
Yeah, no, there's another verse
Jai
that has similar. Jaganivas or something.
Jai Jananivas.
Yeah,
Devaki Janmala.
yeah, Jayati Chaiti. Maybe it's here. Let me see. Jayati Janmala. Chapter 90 of 10th Canto, verse 48, it also the verb is in the present tense. Jayati Jana Nivas. Nivas means residence, Jana means first, and Jayati means living. Jayati means eternally. Jana Nivas, Krishna is living with the Yadav dynasty. Jayati Jana Nivasa Devi Janmavado. So this verse, the commentary also proves that because Jayati is in the present tense, he is living. Devi Nandan is living in Brajmandala and Mathura right now. This verse also cited 10th chapter, 10th Canto, chapter 90, verse 48, and also here it is 4th Canto, Dhruva story. What verse is it?
42. 8.
8th chapter, verse 42. So you should take note of that. That's an important thing. So he said you should meditate on the Lord. They gave a mantra. He gave a mantra diksha. What mantra did he give him? Verse 50. Verse 49. Describes what it means when you meditate on the Lord. What is your experience? Second line, 4th Canto, chapter 8, verse 49. Darshani Yatamam Shantam Mano Nayana Vardhanam. Vardhanam means to increase, like Govardhan, means to increase, to expand. Nayana means eye and mind. The mind becomes full of joy and peace by seeing, having darshan or meditating upon Krishna. He is pleasing to see, peaceful and joyful for the mind and eyes. Mano, Shantam, Shanta, Man, and Shanta Naya. Your eyes and mind become peaceful to look at when you look at Krishna. verse 53, he gets mantra diksha. So the Guru of Dhruva Maharaj is Dharamani. What mantra does he give? He said, you try this mantra, you have darshan of Krishna in 7 days. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So he got right into it. He hunkered down. He hunkered down that mantra. In 7 days he had darshan of Vasudeva. Form of Vishnu.
7 days. 3 days.
I don't know. He said 7 days.
7 days.
3 months he blew up the universe. I don't know. I don't know what. Let's see what goes on. He said. Okay, he said you see Vishnu Dutas. You can see Vishnu Dutas after 7 days. Who's Vishnu Duta? There's one from Russia. There's Vishnu Duty. There's Vishnu Duty from Visakhapatnam. There's Italian Vishnu Duta. Duty. There's 2 Vishnu Dutas. Chocolate Vishnu Dutas. So you'll see these guys. Okay. Oh, what else we got? Hey, turn on this fan up here. This one. Just turn it off. You got that fan. Krishna fan. Phenomenal too. That's right. Shanti. Shanti Manoanayana. Okay, kids. Oh, it's nice and quiet. So Narada went back to the palace of the king of Tonopad to get news about his son Dhruva. Where's the fan? You give the fan, you do it. Go back here. Go sleep back there. Sleeping back there, not here. The flies are coming because there's no fan now. So the king asked Narada, did the wolves eat my son? He said, no, they don't like little boys. So the king is lamenting. He said, I mistreated my son. So then it describes the austerities of Dhruva, how he carried on. Let's check it out. First month. It's too many. It's distracting. The first month. Now this is quite, imagine his diet. He ate coconut fruits and butterberries every third night for 30 days. So he ate 10 days a month, some berries. He had a fruit diet for the first month. Second month he switched to grass. That's dry grass and leaves. He ate 4 times a month. The third month, he only drank water 3 times a month, every 9 days. That's pretty austere. The fourth month, he only took a breath every 12 days. He took 3 breaths a month. Fifth month, he stood on 1 foot. Didn't take any breaths. So he's pretty fired up here. So that's the 5th month. You just sing, meditating on Krishna in the heart. And because he wasn't breathing, all the devas in the universe got choked up, became breathless. They went to Vishnu and said, "Then we can't breathe." Vishnu said, "Don't worry about it. I'll stop this boy. Because of Dhruva, you can't breathe." When he stops breathing, your breath also stops. You should not fear thinking that you will die. That's pretty interesting. Don't breathe, my friend. Chapter 9. Dhruva meets Vishnu. Dun, 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 dun. So, he didn't see Vishnu after 7 days or 7 months, after 6 months. Oh, a story. Hey, you have your phone? Look at this word. Kapole. Kapole means what? Kapole. I think it means cheek, but this book says forehead, and probably says forehead also. Kapole or Pola?
Cheek.
Cheek. So this is wrong translation because the BBT, Prabhupada's Bhagavatam, and Maharaj, I guess, got the idea from that. Also translates, he touched his forehead with a conch shell. The word kapole in Sanskrit means cheek. And I've seen Indian paintings of Dhruva Maharaj with Vishnu touching, old paintings from 1920s, Vishnu touching his cheek. Because your forehead doesn't speak. You speak with your mouth. Mouth is connected to the cheek. The mouth and cheeks and mouth work together. Ego. So you touch the cheek and get the thing working. Very important distinction we made. So you want your kid to talk, touch his cheek with a concho. Or one thing you have to do, you have to be Vishnu. Get Vishnu to touch your son's cheek with a concho. I'm sure I'll speak. Read the commentary on page 164, verse 3.
Confused.
This is a description of the experience of Dhruva Maharaj when he had darshan of Vishnu. He was, go ahead, confused.
Confused by the bliss that appeared on seeing Krishna. Seeing Krishna with his eyes.
Vishnu.
Seeing Vishnu with his eyes, he seemed to be drinking the sweetness of his lotus face. Going down with his head, he seemed to kiss the sweetness of his lotus feet. Touching the tips of the Lord's Vishnu's feet, he seemed to embrace Vishnu with his arms. Bhujair is in the plural instead of dual to show that with his two arms he embraced Vishnu many times. This suggests trembling of his body due to bliss.
Wow. Lucky kid. Lucky aunt. Vishnu made all of Dhruva's senses spiritual. Appreciating the incomparable, unconditional mercy of Vishnu, Dhruva offered respects with astonishment. Oh Bhagavan, by your Chit Shakti, you have brought to life the power of speaking in me. Now I am your servant. I will use my power of speech to describe your form, qualities, activities. You have made my life here as favorable for your seva. This means that Dhruva's senses had all suddenly become spiritualized. So I hope. Now, page 167, verse 7. The senses of your devotees, by your mercy, focus on you and become spiritual. The senses of others are focused on Maya, and they only become material senses. So our senses become spiritual because the object of our senses is Krishna. Like one thing that happens when people get old, they lose the ability to hear. Their hearing goes bad. So they have a machine called a hearing aid. And part also getting old, your eyes go bad. You can't see, you get cataracts, glaucoma, the power of vision. So the eyes are controlled by the sun. It says in the Gita, the sun and the moon are the two eyes of Bhagavan. Bhagavan sees in the daytime with the sunshine and sees in the nighttime with the moonshine. So when we worship great personalities, usually we worship them with articles and a way of worship which they're pleased with, which will please them. So the sun is worshipped with fire and water. You offer water in a copper loda to the sunshine, sun planet, and you offer a ghee lamp. So some people make a joke, they say, why you're offering one little gila to the sun, which is 50 zillion gilas. It's just like you offer Yamuna to Yamuna. You offer Radhakan water to Radhakan, Shalakan water to Shalakan. So when we do that, we offer to Suridev some water and gila, and we pray for a benediction. So what do we pray? Because sun is in charge of vision. So we pray to Suridev, please keep my eyes strong so I can see the Thakurjis of Vrindavan and the Leela Stallis of Vrindavan and read the Shastras describing your Leelas. Krishna, Radha Krishna Leela. This is the only purpose of eyes, not to see the seven wonders of the world or any object or person of this world. So we pray like that. So, let's see what happens. I had one Baba friend of mine. I hadn't heard from him for 15 years. He called me up and he said, I can't see out one eye. I have glaucoma. Can you arrange for some doctor to give my vision back? It just so happened the Radhanath Swami was having a eye camp in Varsana, where they do free cataract surgery and keep the people there for 3 days or something, room and board. So we arranged a taxi and took that old Baba, the Mature Brahmin, to Varsana, and he got his operation done. Whenever I meet him, he always says, "Oh, you saved my eyes." So now he can see it, Vrindavan Dham. So let's see what else happened here. Drew is free, excited now. Look at verse 11, chapter 9, 170. The Jew is offering prayers. When you get in touch with Vishnu's conch shell, you can really speak. I wish I could get one of those conch shells. I could speak something. Because it's a little hard to speak for me. But Vishnu's commentary is quite interesting. Bhakti composed of hearing and chanting will not be sweet without proper association. So that's a nice thing. Association makes things sweeter. Just like if you add you're making some sweet rice, kheer, you mix some milk and you put some sugar and rice, of course, and you're cooking it down. If you add a little bit of camphor karpur has the ability to increase the sweetness of the sweet rice. Of course, it gives you kind of a subtle hint of the camphor fragrance, very subtle. You do too much, then it tastes like dry cleaning. Tastes like dry cleaning your dress or something. Send it to dry cleaners. Doesn't smell, it doesn't taste good. But just a little camphor, we get that touch of camphor fragrance, but the sweetness will increase. This is the power of camphor. So Vishnu is saying that when you hear Harikatha in association with devotees, it becomes sweeter. And it's most sweet if you're hearing from Madhurya Mayi Bhaktas. Bhaktas that are absorbed in worshiping Radha and Krishna. It's like there's a famous song on the internet now from Baba Sampradaya, Premananda Das Ji Maharaj. He has a big following, 10 lakhs of people listen to his lectures every day because he's very sweet devotee of Radharani, a very advanced saintly person. Many people are saying he's the saint of Vrindavan, Premananda. So when he speaks, it's very sweet and attractive. So that's what Vishnu is saying. Bhakti of hearing, of Shravanam and Kirtanam will not be sweet without proper association. By bhakti produced from association by sadhusanga, one directly meets Krishna. When one has this experience, one again prays to have association with devotees. This indicates that bhakti in the form of a sadhusanga is the cause of bhakti, and bhakti is the result of bhakti. Bhakti plus bhakti equals bhakti. Bhakti is a phenomenon. It's mystical and magical. It's like COVID. One guy gets it, he gives it to another guy. There's no preventing getting it. You can't shield yourself from it. I give you an example. It may be a demoniac person and be totally resistant and antagonistic to ever accept any bhakti in your life. I used to be in San Francisco in the ISKCON temple. We went out every day and sold books in the San Francisco Wharf. It's a tourist area, sidewalk on the street, selling books. And in front, we were always in front of one store on the corner. The owner of the store used to go out and say, "Get out of here." And every Friday, we would make cookies in the temple and offer in the Jagannath and bring out cookies and give out to store owners on the street so that they would be nice to us. You know, a show of friendship and love and giving Bob Prasad. So we go in the store and go to offer this store owner that always yelled at us, told us to go away. He said, "Get out of here." I said, "No, we're giving cookies." He said, "No, I don't want cookies. Take your cookies, get out of here." So other young people were working in the store. He said, "I want a cookie." And so so I was there with the cookies. So I looked at the boss. I didn't speak, my eyes said. But I was respecting him because he said, "Get out." I looked at him like, "They want, you say no. What'd I do?" So I asked, so I said, "Give me a cookie." So I looked at the other human. I said, "What should I do?" He go out. So I went out. Nobody got a cookie. I did. I got lots of them. The next week later on Friday, we buy cookies again. When we go meal, when we chocolate chip, well, yeah, different kind. Coconut raisins, variety. To get people hooked. So then I went to the store. I said, "Sir, we have a cookie." "No, get out." And I want a cookie. So I looked at it. I said, "What should I do?" They said, "I want a cookie." So I gave One to the girl, one to the guy, one to the girl. 4 cookies. They went out. So I would come in, and the boss would be there, and I would just walk in and just go to the wouldn't even go to the boss. I just walk in. He would look at me. So after about 3 months, I came walking. They said, "Oh, you're back. Good. Hare Krishna, give me a cookie." Okay. Hey, put a cookie on the table. And by and by, next week I gave it, and those cookies were good, give me one. He became converted by prasad distribution. So bhakti becomes sweeter in association with devotees. That's what Dhruva Maharaj is saying.
So nice.
So we went from totally antagonistic, opposed, and angry to becoming favorable and liking Mahaprasad, becoming happy to see me. He didn't become a cooking monster, but he liked the cookies. He sort of liked me also. Sorry about it. Okay. So, where's this? Is there anywhere in this chapter where Dhruva Maharaj said, "I was looking for glass and I found diamonds"? You got any verse like that?
Maybe yes.
It's not here. Prabhupada says it, but it's in other places, and he's quoting Hari Bhakti Siddhodaya, another verse right here. But you read the chapter. It has to be in this chapter. It's chapter 9, but I didn't see it.
At the end, I think, but I'm not sure because I forgot the book.
What?
I forgot the book, but maybe at the end of the chapter, I'm not sure.
I don't think so. Anybody see it? I don't think it's there. He did 6 months of austerity and he had darshan of Vishnu. And Vishnu blessed them. He said, "You'll rule a kingdom like bigger than your father for 36,000 years. And then you'll go to Vaikuntha, in the material world, the Maha-Vaikuntha planet. You'll go there and live eternally." That's basically what the chapter says. Then he went back home and met his mother-in-law, his stepmother. Everybody's very happy and they received him very nicely. And that's how the chapter. You don't see it anywhere, do you?
Something similar is that was but glass.
There's a famous verse where Dhruva Maharaj says, "I was doing all this austerity, the kingdom bigger than my father's, but now I had darshan of Vishnu. I'm so satisfied. I was like someone was trying to get glass, and I found her."
Get broken.
934.
934.
Similar, like 934, 935. Not speaking about glass, but about grains. But the sense is the same.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Okay, so we finished chapter 9. But now, because I was curious, I thought it would be in this chapter, but it's not in this chapter. But we're people from ISKCON, most of us have some connection with ISKCON at some time or other. It's a very common verse in Prabhupada's preaching in his books. And it's in his sloka book also. I'm going to read the verse. It comes from Hari Bhakti Siddhodaya. Hari Bhakti Siddhodaya is a book written by Vyas, but not Veda Vyas. It's called Vaishampayana. Vaishampayana. Yeah, a different person named Vyas, because Vyas is a Brahmin name. He wrote this book, Hari Bhakti Siddhodaya. In that book, there's a story of not Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruva Maharaj. The book is in English by Gaudiya Math. I had it one time, I read it, gave classes on it, I gave it away. I don't have it now. But it's available. So this is the verse. Stanavidashi tavasi sitoham tam praptavan deva unindra guyam kacham vichinran avidiviratnam swam krishartavasi ram niyache. Prabhupada quotes this verse so many times. It's also quoted by by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 22, chapter 22, verse 42. Lord Chaitanya teaching Sanatana Goswami. The famous line, Kacham Vichinvan Avidivya Ratnam. Divya Ratnam means divine transcendental gems. And Kacha means glass. Vichinva means searching. I was searching for a glass and I found diamonds. I found transcendental. So glass is the kingdom. And the diamonds is darshan of Krishna, Vishnu. So this is the verse. Sanavilashi tavasi sitoyam. That's right. Deva Munindram. When Dhruva was blessed by Vishnu, he said, "Oh Prabhu, because I was seeking a great kingdom, I performed intense austerities, but now I have your darshan, who is difficult to attain by great devas and great munis like Indra, devas like Indra and munis. I was searching after a piece of glass, but instead I found the most valuable jewel. Therefore I am so satisfied that I don't ask for any benediction." That's the whole idea everyone's looking for, satisfaction. One of the most popular songs of the rock and roll world in the 1960s was by the Rolling Stones. The Rolling Stones is a British rock and roll group, very famous. They sang a famous song, "I Can't Get No Satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction." So find satisfaction. Everyone, satisfaction is another way of saying happiness. Because happiness means that your heart is satisfied, your mind is satisfied, your life is satisfied. The only thing that will give that is love. Love of God, love of Krishna, love of Radharani. So Dhruva became a lover of Vishnu. He fell in love with Vishnu, he had darshan of Vishnu. When he had that darshan and felt that love in his heart, he felt complete satisfaction and happiness. He didn't want anything. But he knew that Vishnu knows that, a lot of people say one thing, but they're thinking something else. "Oh, I don't really want any. I don't need any honey. I'll take it." Okay. So, we cover our real wants and desires, but Krishna knows our deepest wants and desires. So he knew that although Dhruva was kind of pretending to be a pure devotee, like most of us, Dhruva was a lot like most of us. "Oh, I'm really advanced, I'm really pure devotee, I just chant, dance, and read and study all day and night." Vishnu knew that, well, if I offer you a kingdom for 36,000 years, and then I'll take you to the spiritual world, will you take it? "Oh, no. Okay." So Dhruva took the hook. He got caught. Vishnu knew he was. I'm really top. I'm a Tapa yogi. I'm a 5-year-old Tapa yogi. I'm a Tapa Madhavan forest. I'm not afraid of tigers or jackals. Darshan Vishnu, I'm set, I'm cool, I'm good to go. I don't need anything. I passed my master. I got an A+ in my master class in Tapasya. Hey, Darshan. But didn't you originally do these austerities? Get a kingdom bigger than your father? I'll give it to you. 36,000. No. I'll go to my cousin and worship you. You know, that's cool. Are you sure? Wow. Okay, 36,000. But this is Sat Yuga, right? Yeah. How long you live in Sat Yuga? 100,000 years. Okay. How much is 36 from 100? Okay. Okay, for 64,000 years I'll be with you. Okay, I'll take it. So he ruled for 36, they went to Mahavaikunta. That's where he is today. True Maharaj ki jai. So next week read chapters 10, 11, and 12. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. Prasad.